I wasn't gonna be I wasn't gonna fool myself into thinking that uh we
I wasn't going to fool myself into thinking that we as 20-some-year-olds, babies mind you getting married and living in Tinseltown, spending a lot of time apart, okay, that we weren't going to run into temptation situation, girl. Since Jada Pinkett dropped the bombshell that she and Will have been separated for like 7 years, and spilling details about their relationship, a lot of things are apparently beginning to add up, including Will's alleged relationship with Duane Martin, should Jada just fast forward to this part of her tour. 'Cause we have questions and need answers. But even if Jada doesn't get to that tea, honey, I have already done all the digging, and this whole Will Duane situationship is messier than you could ever have imagined, apparently. With Jada revealing details about her relationship, people are beginning to see how Duane Martin allegedly plotted to get with Will from the very beginning. And the first step was to break up his first marriage and get him into a relationship he knew would not work, what in the Beyonce's internet. But stick with me here, guys, okay? As you may be well aware by now, Will and Jada met when she went to audition for a role on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But she didn't get the role because she was too short, but Will still felt a spark between them. So he went to a taping of A Different World during the first season of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to meet Jada. But he ended up meeting Sherry Fletcher Zampino and marrying her a few months later. Here's where Duane comes in. When all of this was going on, Duane and his then partner Tisha Campbell were friends with Jada. The two of them organized a meetup with Will and insisted that he should show up, and little did Will know that it was a setup to meet Jada. Here's the thing though, Tisha and Duane knew very well that Will was married to Cherie, yet they organized that meetup with Jada. Now what people have been saying is that Tisha probably had good intentions, because she knew that Will and Cherie were on the verge of breaking up. But Duane, on the other hand, allegedly wanted Cherie out of the way so that he could have Will. And again allegedly, since he was good friends with Jada, he knew her well enough to know that the relationship with Will was going to be shaky and give him more opportunities. Well, Will and Jada ended up getting married, but it was only a matter of time before divorce rumors started hitting them. And unsurprisingly, Duane Martin was right in the middle of things, honey. When I tell you that breaking up a marriage is an art that Duane had actually mastered for his own benefit, I mean exactly that, 'cause apparently he didn't just get between Will and Cherie. And Will and Jada enter Lisa Ray into the chat. And when I introduced them, that was one of the worst things I ever did, according to Lisa, after she introduced Duane to her husband. Somehow within that relationship, Duane ended up being better friends with her husband, and she couldn't understand what was happening. For the love of God, he became disrespectful with introducing my husband to different women and women that we actually knew as friends and associates. In addition, Lisa revealed that Duane sold the building they jointly purchased without consulting her. She claimed that upon learning of Duane's involvement in the rumors surrounding Will and Jada's divorce, she thought, "You sound familiar." But this is where it gets really wild and really messy, as Duane was not known for introducing married men to women. He was allegedly the one hooking up with them, which brings us to his relationship with Will Smith. Okay, rumors that these two have hit it go all the way back. And in 2012, Star magazine even came out with a front page story alleging that the reason why Will and Jada's relationship was falling apart was because Will Smith had a gay relationship with Duane Martin. At the time, Tisha took to Twitter to deny the allegations, saying, "Usually I ignore negativity, but I'm tired of the media attacking the Smiths. They're an amazing couple, and I wish people would stop perpetuating lies and leave them alone." Regardless of what Tisha said, fans were still very convinced that there was something going on between Will and Duane, especially after they took one too many vacations together that included trips to Sin City, Las Vegas, Miami, and supposedly a private cruise in Trinidad. While their wives Tisha and Jada sat at home, there was actually an eyewitness who said that they saw Will and Duane dining at a Trinidad Erie. and that it was clear Will and Duane both arrived and left together. Apparently, Jetta hated that Will was taking Duane on exotic vacations while she was sitting home alone, and allegedly couldn't stand Will's friendship with Duane, and felt that he flaunted it in her face based on what was reported Jada, and Will's marriage was in fact completely fractured, and that the more time Will spent with Duane, the more strain he placed on his marriage to Jada. Now, I'm not sure if the alleged relationship between Duane and Will contributed to the divorce between Duane and Tisha. But in 2020, Tisha herself alleged that Will Smith was in a relationship with Duane Martin when she published an Instagram post with an image that read the truth always comes out in the end. No matter how hard anyone tries to hide it on its own, it looks like a pretty vague post. But she also wrote in the comments, "And you're right, they will lie till the end. The real kicky is as people will stop believing them." In the film 6 Degrees of Separation, Will played a gay con artist in his first major motion picture. In the film, Will's character was supposed to have a full love scene with a dude, but after landing the part, he was not on board with the idea. Tisha wrote Will perfectly in caps, as if she was trying to communicate something. And we all got the message loud and clear. Let's be real, guys. Will has actually been plagued by those gay rumors for a pretty long time. Will's character was also supposed to lock lips with a white man, but at the time he was not comfortable, so mirrors and trick camera angles made it appear as though Will's character kissed the male actor. I know, not enough to run with. But there's also what Jaguar Wright said about both Will and Jada being bisexual. They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their housing screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. And you'll better trust Jaguar to go all the way with the tea. Spilling, I'm saying that because of the artists that I just spoke to not that long ago that got invited to a party at their house, everything was cool up front till they went to the back. And there was a bunch of old young boys back there all naked in the White House. And to drop a couple of names while at it too, Meek Mill's Basher Gray left that house screaming August the only one that stay. There's also Alexis Arquette, who claimed Will paid off his first wife after she walked in on him with another man in a now deleted Facebook post, saying when Jada comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked in on him servicing his sugar daddy, Benny Medina, then I will listen to them. And girl, even Will was suspected of having an affair with one of Trisha Puss' male dancers. When Jada called Shane Dawson out for disrespecting Willow Smith, Trisha stood up for him. Trisha also had a few words for Jada, saying that instead of being concerned about Shane, Jada ought to have been concerned about what was happening with Will. How about worry about your cheating, husbanding my male dancers, when they didn't want to? As for Duane, in 2007 rumors surfaced insisting that he filed for divorce from his wife Tisha, and went on to suggest that the reason was that he had come out as gay. There were also reports that at one point Tisha and Duane attempted a life of alternative lifestyles, meaning that they might have engaged in an open relationship. Now, of course, Will Smith's name came up just like it did when Tisha and Duane actually got divorced years later. Based on court documents, Duane had been receiving payments from Will Smith and Jada for the sale of a home, and a trustee had filed paperwork ordering that Duane Martin turn over his laptop, claiming that he was not honest and forthcoming in the case. Apparently, Duane refused to hand over the laptop because it also contained personal photos, which were confidential, privileged, and unrelated to any legitimate interest, and confidential communications with other public figures regarding private non-financial matters. Very interesting, right? What exactly was contained in the laptop? And was it related to Will and Jada giving Duane money once again? We going to need Jada to skip to this part of the tour. But meanwhile, let me know what you think of this entire Will and Duane entanglement. Do you think another bombshell about them is just about to hit our screens? Drop those thoughts down below.